South Florida. It's home to crystal clear beaches, world-famous nightlife, and world-class dining. A place where many people come to escape, and for some, sunny weather and permanent vacation vibes. Well, there's nothing like a global pandemic to put an end to the party. When Governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order on April 1st shutting down all non-essential businesses, our world stopped. But that didn't stop some. During this timeout, we also took time out to assemble a list of the people we find the most fascinating this year. So as we prepare to close the door on 2020, let's take a look back on a few incredible South Floridians, some who made the news across the nation, and some who simply make us proud. They have each found a way to leave an eternal footprint in the fabric of our beloved South Florida and beyond. I'm Kavita Channe, and this is our 7 most fascinating people of South Florida. A global pandemic right on our doorstep, Florida ranks in the top 3 states in the country for the most COVID-19 cases. A staggering 1 million Floridians and counting have been infected with the coronavirus, and thousands have died from it. Now, John Place dodged death and considers himself one of the lucky ones. This plantation resident tested positive for COVID-19 shortly after Father's Day, when he caught it from his 21-year-old son. Now, he spent 45 days in the hospital, 20 of them on a ventilator, fighting for his life. But the mental and financial toll will take longer to heal. With medical bills topping $1 million, a business hit hard by the pandemic, and a newfound mission to educate others on the devastation this virus can cause, we welcome John into our list of South Florida's 7 most fascinating people.
I'm so glad that you're able to share your story. So if you can tell us what happened going in the hospital.
The quick version of the whole COVID thing that happened to me is my 21-year-old son, he was 20 at the time, he went out with some friends. It wasn't a COVID party or anything like that. It was just him and 4 friends hung out at the house. Nobody was sick or showing symptoms, so they all took off their masks. They had their fun. Next 4 days or so, my son, he got a cold. He didn't tell anybody. And then about that week later, my 15-year-old son got a cold. About 2 days later, one of the girls from my son's gathering called and said, "Nicholas, listen, 2 of us, we tested positive for COVID. You should go get checked just to be sure." And then that's when my son came to me and said, "Dad, this is what happened. I'm sorry. I need you to go get tested."
Ironically, you got COVID-19 on Father's Day.
And that's really the last thing I remember is Father's Day. It was a great day. I think I was feeling a little weird or ill toward the end of the day. And it's the last thing I remember. From then on, I had a 104 fever for about 3 or 4 days. I couldn't breathe. Next thing I know, I guess I'm at the hospital. I'm texting and doing live videos and everything, but I don't remember doing it. I remember it only because I saw it on my Facebook. Then the doctor told my wife she has 10 minutes to decide if I'm going on a ventilator or not. So she didn't know what to do. She's asking, friends that are doctors, this person doctor. She had 2 other doctors tell her, "Listen, he has a 0% chance of living. If he doesn't, he has a 20% if he does." I mean, they're not great odds, but 20% is still better than 0. So I went on the ventilator. I was on the ventilator for 20 days. I was in the hospital for 45 days. Every doctor I see, even right now, they say I'm a miracle that I'm even alive. I have doctors that, when I go for a visit, other doctors come in just to see me because they saw me basically on my deathbed at the hospital, dying of COVID.
But your story went viral across the nation. How did that happen?
Yeah, my wife, My wife, she stepped up to the plate. She was talking to a lady, and the lady's like, "Listen, you need to tell your story. Go on Facebook, just do it live, just get it out, just talk about it. It'll help you heal inside." And again, she's not the type of person that will do that, but she did. She went on Facebook and she did a plea just asking for prayers and just support, and it went viral. Somebody from the news saw it, another person from the news saw it, and it just went literally worldwide. I've done interviews in Australia, UK, Canada, South America, all over Europe, all over the United States. And the news would mix it around. We would get headlines like, 20-year-old son almost kills his father in South Florida. Father wakes up, kicks his son out of the house. And this, it's just very harsh. Luckily for my son, he doesn't follow social media. On the same time, there were some that were very compassionate and open to know what Nicholas's feelings are. Is he okay? Because this is a lot to go through, in your mind thinking that maybe you could have killed your dad. He was just so happy that I was alive.
COVID-19 is extremely isolating. You and I had a conversation about a particular nurse that really...
Sorry, you're already gonna get me going.
It really moved me. So do you want to tell that story?
When I woke up, I didn't know I was at a hospital. I didn't know where I was. I have memories of just being in a weird place. Everybody's in spacesuits. I thought I was in a scary movie, like a horror movie, really, because I didn't know where I was. Nobody would talk to me because I was COVID in an ICU unit. Anytime I'd yell for help or try to yell for help, nobody would answer me. I'd see them look in at me, but never they wouldn't come in. I had nurses that were horrible. There's things they did to me that I couldn't believe they did, and they shouldn't have done. And then there were some that were super compassionate. And I remember there was one nurse. There was one nurse that came, and she was there to either clean me or do something. I don't even remember, but all I remember is asking her is if she would just hold my hand. And not only did she hold my hand, but she held me. She saved me. She made me feel special. And I needed that more than anything at that time. Because again, I haven't seen my family already in a month and a half. I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk again. I couldn't use my hands. In fact, the only thing I could use, my left elbow, from my elbow to here, is the only movement I had. I couldn't scoot around. I couldn't roll. I could lift my head barely. Legs didn't work. Body didn't work. Even today, I have no feeling in these fingers at all.
Here you are now, out of the hospital. You have close to $1 million in medical bills. I'm guessing you have some type of insurance. How are you managing that?
When I got sick, I found out my insurance was nothing. It did absolutely nothing. So luckily, we were able to upgrade to the premium super insurance that they had, which is $1,300 a month just for me. That doesn't count anybody else, just for me. We got our first stack of bills in one envelope that was 260 something pages. And that one was for, $906,000. And then every week or two, we get more and more that come in. So right now, I think we're up to about 950,000, 960,000. It's pretty much $1 million. Might as well be, like you said. It's paying for most of it, but I still have probably about $250,000 of medical bills that I have to pay on my own. Imagine people that don't have any insurance at all. They would have to pay $1 million or close to $1 million, or maybe more than $1 million for getting sick, which some people say is fake. I've had people calling me a government actor, a crisis actor.
How's everyone now? How's your wife? How's your son Nicholas? How's your 3 other children?
They're good. They're good. I made it out. I'm here, so they're good. Everything's pretty much back to normal except for my physical, things. I have to go to physical therapy 3 days a week for my legs and arms and shoulders. Then I have to go to physical therapy now 2 days a week for my hand. So that's 5 days a week of physical therapy. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired.
Biggest takeaway of 2020 for you?
Don't take life for granted. If you are feeling a little bit sick, stay away from people. Go to the doctor, get checked. It could save your life. It could save your family's lives.